Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LeBears Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Krysan, TK joining us from my favorite hamburger joint in the city, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. They do a lot more than hamburgers, but they got the best ones over there. I'm at an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Go to lasportshall.com, find out all the details about the November 16th and 17th Celebrity Golf Classic that'll be taking place over in Baton Rouge at LeBears and for the party, and then University Club Golf Course for the golf. And of course, we're presented by LeBears Casino, where they're rocking and rolling for college football season and NFL. It was a packed venue last week for the LSU Tigers game. No LSU this week; they'll be off, but still lots of good action. You can check it out at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. What's going on, TK?
Well, good morning, Ronnie. Ronnie, I've often wondered, like, how big of a closet do you have for your hats? Okay, because you're a guy that probably has more hats than anybody I know, and I'm trying to look here. What kind of hat, what kind of lid are you sporting today? I mean, I'm always curious, but I'm trying to figure it out.
So today you have the 2025 version hat, team hat for the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. Tommy, I see we've got all the logos that are important in life represented today. You got the Rougarou logo. I got the Hall of Fame on the shirt. I got the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators hat, which I wore last night. We had a introduction of the ownership group over in Lake Charles for the Gumbo Gators. Met with some of our sponsors, some of our host families, some of our interns, dance team, MC, blah, 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 the team over here, and had a nice event over at Walk-Ons in Lake Charles. Appreciate everyone that came out for that. And just looking forward to building the brand in Lake Charles and doing good things over there like we've been doing in Baton Rouge for the last 4 years.
Well, Ronnie, you're a very busy guy, one of the busiest guys I know, and everybody has busy days, but I don't know that you have days that are not busy. And now you'll be even more busy, especially as we roll past the first of the year and into things. But I mean, Gumbo Gators and Rougarou are really year round. Just, obviously there are certain months that are much more active than others, but it's really a year round process with players, office personnel, employees, sponsors, the whole bit.
Yeah, look, I'm very fortunate, Tommy, that I get to work and do things like with the Hall of Fame and the Rougarou and TV and radio and all the different things that we do. These are all things I enjoy doing, man. Don't tell anyone, but I'd probably do it for less pay. So,
Well,
and that's the
I have a question. Back when you finished playing in the minor leagues, and I believe you worked somewhere in Canada with a minor league team. You were like a marketing guy, sales guy. You were part of the operation. On that At that time, did you ever think you would own two teams in a collegiate summer league, the Texas Collegiate Summer League?
yeah.
Did you ever think that
Yeah.
that might end up being the case some 25 years later?
Yeah, when you're 25 years old or 24, 25 years old, which was my age back then, you have a Friday plan, not a 20-year plan. so so yeah, didn't really look too far into the future, but look, I'm excited. I think Lake Charles has got such tremendous opportunity. I mean, they already have some things that Baton Rouge doesn't have. And they're two different operations. They're two separate businesses. Each have their strengths and weaknesses. And we're looking forward to improving both of them. And the dream scenario, right, TK, would be Lake Charles versus Baton Rouge in the finals one day or something for the TCL. Who knows with the way the format may end up being. If we add some more teams into Texas, you may not have necessarily an East and a West. I don't know how it'll be play out, but to match up in the playoffs is the dream, right?
Well, Lake Charles is a great sports town and the surrounding communities, Sulphur and all that. If you look at youth sports stuff, you look at high school baseball and softball, you look at what McNeese has done over the years in a variety of sports. And, Bob McIntyre, one of their former golfers, was just playing in the Ryder Cup. I mean, it's a big sports town and they're passionate about sports. from the youth level on up, and certainly it's growing with the Texas Collegiate League with the Gumbo Gators. I got a lot of great friends that live in Lake Charles, and they're huge sports fans. I mean, all sports, boys, girls, round the clock, year round, and it's really cool. And I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for sports in the Lake area and sports in Louisiana.
Well, let's talk about sports around the state of Louisiana. Of course, the big topic, um, locally is the the 0-4 start by the New Orleans Saints. What does that mean for this year? What does that mean for their future? The 4-1 start for LSU. People still digesting that Ole Miss loss. One of the things that Matt Moscona and others have pointed out was the disparity of throwing the football versus running the football. How they weren't balanced, and against that three-man front, they should have run the ball a lot more than they did. I'll go this way. They should ideally, Tommy. When you see a three-man front, you should run the ball primarily. But at some point, if you can't run the ball, no matter if you should run the ball, you need to throw it. And in this case, I was there in Oxford. I saw the lack of push, the lack of, uh, uh, you know, effectiveness in the run game. Should they have run the ball a few times more? Yeah, maybe. But LSU was not being really successful running the football, whether they did it 21 times or whether they would have done it 31 times.
Yeah, I agree with that, and it's got to be a part of the game. A complementary football. That's kind of a buzzword thing now. So LSU's got the open date this week. Maybe they could work on something, fix it. And I think the biggest question that Mark, that's LSU fans have the concern with is what is the health status of Garrett Nussmeier? We go back to August when Brian Kelly had a chronic knee problem when he missed a couple of practices or he was limited in a practice. And then it's all of a sudden a torso problem, which is, that could mean a lot of things. So I think and then when you see him underthrow balls, and struggle to throw it deep, the eyeball test will tell you nobody's 100% after four college football games, especially the guys who are on the field all the time. But the eyeball test will tell you he just something's up. Just like that near the end of Drew Brees' career, everybody knew he couldn't get the ball down the field. Same thing with Peyton Manning; he couldn't get the ball down the field like he once did. So I'm not trying to identify the whole problem for Nussmeier because there's 10 other guys on offense, but the fans aren't dumb. They can see something's up and they don't know exactly what that may be.
Hopefully, this week he's getting mental reps. He's doing the physical fitness side, but maybe, putting the football down, because, uh, clearly he's not 100%. And I don't know if it's fixable in 2 weeks' time. I don't know if not playing a game this week is going to have that miracle fix effect, or if it's a more severe situation than that. But it's undoubtedly. And look, I don't expect or think Brian Kelly has to reveal everything that's wrong with every player. Uh, but there, clearly Nussmeier's not himself. The mechanics, the throwing mechanics, are clearly a little different. The ball's coming out the hand a little bit different. He's not as accurate on the deep throws. He's not as the zip isn't there. He looks very measured. I feel like instead of just letting it rip, that gunslinger mentality. It looks very measured, and that's not good because with the lack of running game, and the lack of running game's been there since day one this year. No matter who they played, the offensive line is not opening the holes and doing the things that you would like for them to do on the run game. With that said, it's going to be on Garrett Nussmeier to win games, and uh, and so we shall see. New Orleans Saints, TK, there's some conversation and talk about potentially making a trade or a Russell Wilson or something like that to come here to fix. I, I, I don't think Tom Brady could come out of retirement right now and the Saints would all of a sudden be a playoff team. Like I don't think they're one player away anywhere from winning versus losing. It's a full body makeover this organization needs.
I agree. No sense giving away a draft pick, even if it's a fourth or fifth round. Because you're rebuilding. Nobody likes that word, but that's what the Saints are in a rebuilding mode. You need to keep as many. They got rid of it for the receiver from Denver. They gave up a couple of picks. I mean, I don't know. And I don't know how many picks they got in the next 2 years, but I could look that up. But no, I think the Saints need to go with what they got, and Rattler has not been the problem. Okay, he is not the problem. It's a combination of things that are the problem. But I wouldn't give up any picks. I wouldn't make any trades at this point. What are you going to do? Make a trade and instead of winning 2 games, you win 3? I mean, that's not smart. That's not smart front office ideas and management. And if you all of a sudden you're 0-7 or 0-8, put Tyler Shuck in there and find out what you got. Let him play 2 or 3 weeks. Don't pull him out because he throws a pick or he makes a rookie mistake, because all rookies make mistakes. So I agree with you completely on the Saints. I mean, they're a 1.5-point favorite against the Giants, who are 1-3. Saints are 0-4. Not really a marquee matchup, but Jackson Dart, who Tiger fans saw at Ole Miss, got a win against an undefeated Charger team last week. First time a 0-3 team beat a 3-0 team in like 15 or 16 years in the NFL. Over and under is 40.5. So the wise guys aren't thinking there's going to be a lot of points in this game at all. But it is in the Dome. It is noon Sunday, and we'll see if the Saints can get Kellen Moore his first win.
Major League Baseball playoffs started yesterday. Ohtani with 2 home runs. He had 55 during the regular season, 2 more in the postseason.
Ronnie, OTK with Ohtani to hit at least 1 home run plus $1.75. First at bat of the game. Kaboom. TK in the rocking chair with the plus $1.75.
That's always good when you get that home run out of the way in the first inning. That'll work. I mean, they were up 8-0 in that game, cruised to a victory. Obviously, a lot of good games. The Red Sox won on the road against the Yankees, had a great pitching performance. The Cubs won at home against the Padres. Detroit, talking about a great pitching performance. Detroit wins on the road at Cleveland.
Ronnie, I tell you what, the Red Sox Yankees, I saw a lot of baseball yesterday. Postseason baseball, it's just different. We know that. The Yankees were down 3-1, bottom of the ninth. Chapman's on the mound for the Red Sox, and he got the last out in the 8th. It only one other time this year did he go more than 1 inning. And Yankees got bases loaded with 3 straight singles. Bases loaded, nobody out, down 2. Strikeout, weak fly to right, not long enough to tag. Strikeout, Red Sox win. Bases loaded, nobody out, you don't get a run. At home, hey, and then a lot of controversy. They pulled Max Fried out when he was just cruising. Analytics, I know it's important, but it's not always the best move, I don't think. And, 2 home teams win, 2 away teams win. All 4 games again today. You could have some teams eliminated, or you could force some game 3. It's a best of 3, and they'll all be tomorrow in the same park. No traveling in the wild card round.
Coach Skip Bertman always said that postseason baseball, Major League Baseball, was the closest thing to what college baseball's like, right? Because oftentimes, if you watch postseason baseball, and now you don't because they have pitch com and things like that. But during the regular season, a lot of times, the catchers call the game, the pitchers and catchers call the game. All of a sudden you get to the postseason. Now you start seeing the pitching coach calling the game, or the manager, giving a few more signals for pitches. They control the game differently. They bunt more. They hit and run more. They steal more. They play the small ball game more. There's just a lot more strategy that goes into the postseason. And oh, by the way, the fans are more into it, right? A lot of times you go to get home game number 72 on the season in August, September, and folks are eating the hot dogs and it's into it. That guy, it's a home run, we'll cheer. But it's more of a going for the experience and laid back and enjoying baseball, love of the game, check out the environment. When you get to postseason, that's when it's like LSU versus Tennessee at the box on a Friday night, where fans are cheering every pitch and every out, and they're booing the umpire, and they're really into it. That's what it reminds me of. That's what the postseason reminds me of, is big time SEC baseball. showdown where the fans are into every pitch, the coaches are controlling the game. That's what you saw last night.
Well, and the other thing in postseason baseball, that one at bat or that one half inning or that one error or that one stolen base can really flip the momentum or flip the whole thing from one dugout to the other, more so than the game on June the 21st. Okay. So it's cool. And I did watch a lot yesterday. I'm going to watch a lot today and this evening. And hey, postseason baseball, some people will say there's nothing like it. And, while football's going on, a lot of people with the postseason baseball.
All right, TK, what else we got? World of sports. TK,
All
you
right,
there?
Ron. Yeah. Go ahead. You were
Yeah.
you went away quickly, but you're back.
Yeah, just what else do we have that's going on?
Well,
Obviously, got fallout still from the Ryder Cup. People
yeah.
have some strong reaction to that. The behavior of the crowd. We heard Tom Watson apologize for the behavior of the crowd. What else we got going on?
Well, this is kind of down the road, but after the 2027 college football season, the national championship will be in the Superdome in New Orleans. It'll be in 2028, but it'll be on the heel of the 2027 season. And a lot of controversy, a lot of conversation about the NFL that had the tie football game on Sunday night between the Packers and the Cowboys. A lot of players speaking out. There shouldn't be a tie. We got to figure out a way to come up with a winner. And a lot of fans feel the same way. Now, we know NFL has changed overtime rules a couple of times in the last decade. Most recently went to 10 minutes instead of 15. They don't want that double or triple overtime game, like, just like baseball doesn't want that 15 inning game. So they got the ghost runner, but not in the playoffs. And I mean, somehow they got to figure. They claim safety, but then they make people play on a Sunday and then follow up play on a Thursday. Is that really safe? So I mean, there's a couple of storylines there, but I think most people would like to see a winner, not a tie.
I agree with that. The problem is how, Tommy. I don't think it's
Yeah,
fair to end a. I don't think it's fair to end a NFL football game after overtime with like a kickoff, like penalty kicks in soccer or something, and all of a sudden you're relying upon two kickers to have some sort of showdown or whatever. I I, I think that would be silly to determine
yeah.
who wins or loses that way. I don't think there's a perfect system. I mean, football is too physically demanding to just say, "Hey, we're going to keep playing until each team has the ball and there's a clear winner." I mean, you could have a whole new game, whole nother game. So, I like the original system. Coin flip, you get the ball, you go down, you score, you win. I mean, at the end of the day, the team gets to stop the team from, what are we talking about? We're talking about a kickoff return that normally gets taken to the 20 or 25-yard line. If you can keep the team from going, 40 yards down the field to even get a long field goal chance, you can win the game. And if you let them go 40 plus yards on a drive, shouldn't you deserve to lose? I mean, so I, I had no problem with the way it was done before. The way it was done before got changed because in the playoffs, all of a sudden, you had some championship games, some playoff games decided on, one team doesn't get the ball, and is that fair that Mahomes got the ball first and went down and scored or whatever, or Brady or whatever the case may be, and that's where people freaked out and changed that rule. But okay, if you change the rule from both teams got to get the ball, and then you shrink it to 10 minutes, what do you think is going to happen? It usually was 15 minutes. That's usually enough time to determine a winner. 10 minutes, is usually each team gets the ball once. Oftentimes those teams aren't going to get the ball a second time in 10 minutes. So I don't know what the solution is, Tommy, unless they went with something just absolutely silly and stole, or go the college model, and instead of kicking off, you get the ball at the 25 or whatever, something like that. But then what's more ridiculous? You have 8 overtimes where you go 2-point conversions, or I don't know that any of it's perfect.
I don't know that there's a solution. You and I can't figure it out. Ronnie, when I was in high school and I did not play football, if the game was tied, they went to the stats and said whoever had the most first downs is the winner of the game. And that actually decided a playoff game or two in the 70s. Okay. That was like, okay, you got 14 first downs, they got 11, you're the winner. Now, I'm not suggesting that. That would be silly
That's
to the
ridiculous.
max.
That's
That's silly to the
ridiculous.
max. Okay. But somebody smarter, somebody in the NFL office has got to figure out a better way. I almost lean with what you said. Go back to the 15-minute period and don't guarantee possession. I mean, if it's a coin flip, but you know what? I mean, there's a lot of 50-50 balls and referee calls that are 50-50. That coin flip, if you can drive it and score or kick a field goal, you win. I mean, I think most owners would want that because you want to have a win or a loss. Of course, a tie is better than a loss, but I don't know. It makes the fans frustrated because they want to have a winner. They want their team to win.
That is too funny. Yeah, that I can't believe that that's how they determine games on first downs. I mean, that is just crazy. All right, TK, tell us about Tremonti's as we get out of here.
Well, it's a Wednesday, so that means $6.99 burger and fries. You can eat it here. You can get it to go to famous Tremonti's Burger, $6.99 and fries. Like I said, take a bunch back to the office. You can eat it here. They do that, and of course, they have all your tailgating and home gating and game watching food and drink, meat, seafood, wine, liquor, and a whole lot more. Catering's available. It's all at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Hey, we'll be back on Friday with another episode of Sports Shores Daily. We hope everyone has a wonderful week, and we will speak to you again real soon. Like and share the show. Thank you.